Over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions to make this vegan mak kimchi, which literally translates into I don't give a shit kimchi. Oh, and by the way, I don't give a shit if you're vegan or not, because if you make this kimchi, you're also going to be saying
I was like the best kimchi ever.
Part 1 to making I don't give a shit kimchi. You got to start with good, coarse kimchi salt. If you can't get kimchi salt, just get coarse sea salt. To that, you're going to add 6 cups of cold water to make your brine. If you try to mix it by hand like I did, your hands are going to get really cold. Next, get 2 heads of Napa cabbage and cut a 2-inch slit down the butt. Yes, cabbage heads have really cute butts. Then use your biceps to split it down the middle. If you don't have biceps or you really don't give a crap, you can just cut it all the way through with your knife. I like to do it this way because the leaves are so pretty and I want to preserve them as much as possible. So I'm going to do the same thing again to divide them into quarters. And now you can use your knife to chop them into bite-sized pieces. And this is why they call it I don't give a shit kimchi. Into a massive kimchi bowl, add 1/4 of the cabbage leaves, 1/3 cup of coarse sea salt, and then 1/4 of the salt brine that you made in the beginning. You're going to repeat that 3 more times for 4 total layers of cabbage leaves, salt, and salt brine. Then pack it down like this. I don't know why you're supposed to do this. I just felt like you were supposed to do it. Then you cover it and let it sit for at least 90 minutes to 2 hours. Basically, what you're looking for are the cabbage leaves to begin to bend without breaking. You want to redistribute the brine that you added in the beginning by giving it a good zhuzh. Now, this is the trickiest part about making kimchi. You've got to let it sit for 90 minutes to up to 4 hours. This will depend upon how thick your cabbage leaves are. We'll talk more about how to know when it's ready a little bit later. In the meantime, let's make this glorious sauce for this I don't give a shit kimchi. You'll start by julienning 2 cups of carrot. And here is the ajima way of doing that. You're going to cut them into discs and then you're going to arrange them and you just run your knife right through them. You could also just use a julienner, probably takes less time. Then you're going to cut thin slices of Korean daikon radish and just cut them into quarters like I do here. All right, then you're going to get a bunch of scallions and you're going to cut off the hairy tops and you're going to keep the white parts separate from the green parts. And then the green parts you're going to chop at a bias like that because my mom told me to. Get a Fuji apple if you can. If you can't, get like a Honeycrisp or like whatever sweet apple that you want. You can even use an apple pear and then just chop it up into rough bits and throw it into your high-powered blender. You're going to do the same thing with this onion and then you're also going to add a shit ton of garlic and a little bit of ginger. To the blender, you're also going to add some plum syrup and I already know what you're saying. I don't have plum syrup. Fine, you can just add sugar. Here is a recap of everything in this blender. Pour green sludge into large bowl of carrots, daikon radish, and scallion greens. Now you're going to make the pul, which literally translates into glue, by adding 1/4 cup of sweet white rice flour, say that 10 times fast, and 1.5 cups of water. Mix it over low heat until it looks like, glue. Add that together with 2 to 3 cups of coarse gochugaru to your bowl with the green sludge and the green onions and the carrots and the daikon radish. And look, if you really like heat, add a little bit more gochugaru. Can't take it, then add a little less. Oh my God, that looks so good. So this is the secret ingredient. This is why my vegan kimchi tastes so good. And it's my vegan fishy sauce. Don't worry, recipe in the description below. Your kimchi's not going to taste that good unless you put this in. So do put it in, don't skip it. And now we get on to the best part, saucing. As promised, this is how you can tell that your cabbage is ready for saucing. As you can see in this video, the cabbage leaves are completely wilted. And if you take one rinsed piece, it should be pretty salty. Here's the thing. You're going to think it's too salty, but keep in mind that the salt is necessary for fermentation, and over time, it will dissipate in saltiness. So this part right here is another reason they call this careless or I don't give a shit kimchi. If you've watched my other kimchi videos, then you know that when the kimchi isn't cut in advance, you have to sauce it leaf by leaf, which is where we get the famous kimchi squat. It's murder on your quads. It takes forever, especially if you're doing it by yourself. And honestly, this kimchi, the I don't give a shit kimchi,
now that is fucking amazing. Oh! That was like the best kimchi ever.
On to the finale, packing. Again, one of the benefits of this mock kimchi is that you don't have to roll the kimchi into those like heart-shaped little bundles, again, to optimize fermentation. You just pack it in. Make sure you do pack it in as tight as you can. If you have space left at the top, sprinkle a little sea salt in order to prevent the growth of yeast. And look at that, we're less than 5 minutes in, and I've told you how I made literally the best kimchi I've ever made in my life. Not even just like that I've ever made, but that I've ever tasted. Now, I'm a nerd, so I label it with the date so I know how long it's been sitting out there. I like to leave it out at room temperature for 1 day, then I stick it in the fridge, and I wait 3 more days for a total of 4 days of fermentation until it looks like this. And there you have it. I don't give a shit kimchi. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more I don't give a shit if you're vegan or not recipes.